Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Will and welcome to Copper Jacket TV. Hopefully everybody out there is doing well. Sorry about the voice and sorry for not making too many videos lately. I feel like I've had bronchitis for nearly the entire month of September, but we're going to try and push through it. So we have some truly groundbreaking news today that could change the course of so-called assault weapon bans in this country forever. And apparently it's all thanks to Trump's executive order to protect the Second Amendment rights of Americans. You might remember earlier this year, he issued that order and we were all wondering, whatever became of it. Well, today at 2 p.m., we finally get to see it in action. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on at 2 p.m. that, to my knowledge, has never happened in this country before in support of the 2A. So let's get to it. Now, real quick before we get started, this channel is proudly sponsored by Attorneys on Retainer, who's backed by Attorneys for Freedom, the only law firm in the entire country that does nothing but self-defense cases. So if you're somebody who cares to defend yourself or your loved ones, or maybe you just keep something in your home for your own defense, having that Attorneys on Retainer membership gives you access to an attorney 24/7. So if there's that door kick in at 2 a.m. in the morning and you have to defend yourself in your own home, or you're out walking the streets and you have to defend yourself, you call the number on the back of that card, you speak to an actual attorney giving you instant attorney-client privilege, and they will be there to defend you through the entire process. They even have civil liability coverage, red flag coverage, online education training, and so much more. So check out this discount code that I have right here. There's a link down below, and with that link you can save yourself a little bit of money. This is the best peace of mind that you could have in your wallet. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So this year could end up being huge when it comes to restoring our rights. We already have 3 major cases up at the Supreme Court, 2 that challenge mag bans and 1 that challenges the semi-auto bans. Well, today we're talking about a case that challenges those exact things that has already been to the Supreme Court and is now back in front of the 7th Circuit. And what makes this case different from the other 3 currently at SCOTUS is that the United States Department of Justice, represented by Harmeet Dhillon, will actually be participating in oral arguments today at 2 p.m. If you want to watch those oral arguments, I'll put a link down in the description box below. But this is huge. The head of the Civil Rights Division will officially be arguing before the 7th Circuit in opposition to these unconstitutional laws. So the DOJ's official position is magazines and semi-autos are in fact protected by the Second Amendment and Supreme Court precedent. Now, if you don't know who Harmeet Dhillon is, she is the Deputy Director of the DOJ, and she's the head of the Civil Rights Division. To my knowledge, she's the first person at the DOJ to ever publicly say that the Second Amendment is not a second-class right, and she mentions that all the time. She's also the person suing California over their excessive wait times and those ridiculous $1,000, $2,000 fees for carry permits, and she recently filed a brief at the 3rd Circuit in support of overturning New Jersey's unconstitutional ban. So she's probably the most pro-2A person we've ever had at the DOJ. Now, the case that she'll be giving arguments for today is a consolidated case with several others. It's called Barnett v. Raoul, which challenges Illinois' bans. Now, another reason why this is so big is because if the 7th Circuit actually decides to be the activist court that we all know that they are, and they end up siding with the state, having the DOJ's oral arguments on record will be huge for the inevitable appeal back up to the Supreme Court. However, if the 7th Circuit actually sides with our rights here, it would basically give us the circuit split that we have been looking for. The Supreme Court is more likely to take a case if the circuit courts can't see eye to eye on an issue, and a win here would give us that circuit split. Either way, this is big news, and I think it's pretty cool that we finally have the DOJ on our side for once, fighting to restore a right rather than trying to infringe on them like in previous administrations. So, again, I'll put the link down below. If you guys want to watch the arguments, I'm going to watch them just to see what the DOJ actually has to say on the matter, because everything that the DOJ says here is going to be on record. And again, that's why this is so big. We can use this in other cases to our advantage. So again, I'm going to pay very close attention to what Harmeet Dhillon says here and how she defends the Second Amendment here, because it's just such massive news. So again, this is a historic event. I don't think this has ever happened in our country before, where the DOJ has represented the side of the Second Amendment in the circuit courts. So I'll put a link down below where you guys can actually watch those oral arguments. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, especially given the current issue. But again, thank you all very much for the support. Thank you all for sticking around. Thank you all for subscribing. You guys are the best subscribers out there, and y'all have a great day.